a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beach dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay at home, Disney Dad.
You better believe it's Jungle June. 4 weeks, 4 VHS Disney movies that contain the word jungle in the title. We start with Rudyard Kipling's A Jungle Book. It's a live-action version of the Disney classic. 20 years before live-action remakes were a regular thing. We press play, there's no ads. This tape is not messing around. Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book. We get this epic, full symphony score that makes this movie seem important right out of the gates. This is how you start a movie, people. I'm freaking out about how good this music is. It just puts me in a good place. I'm ready for this movie. It's like This Land from Lion King. I'm so jacked already, like 3 minutes in. They tell us that life is like a spinning wheel. What goes up must come down? No? Okay, we start with a bunch of folks walking through the jungle somewhere in India. It's some sort of tour. The narrator says his daughter, Catherine, was there. They had a guide who had a son named Mowgli. Both their mothers left the world while bringing them into it. Yes, Disney, make me think about mums dying during childbirth. Oh, great place. Shere Khan roars, all the elephants and the people freak out. Mowgli calms the animals. The guides warn everyone that the mighty Shere Khan is returning and he's angry because these people have come and hunted and shot more than they can eat, and Shere Khan knows it, and that is the law. The folks are like, yeah, and they set up camp. Little Catherine dances by the campfire, and Mowgli just watches her, and she's dancing in slow motion, and they're both like 5 years old, and I'm just going to ignore how this scene is shot, like romantically. He gives her a flower, and she gives him her bracelet and then runs away. In jungle school, Mowgli tells his teacher that a holy man in his dreams told him he's half tiger, and once he faces down Shere Khan without fear, he will be a full tiger. And his teacher's like, what do you say to that? Then that night, Shere Khan attacks the pop-up village. He's terrorizing the shanty town. The humans get their guns, a lantern drops, and everything gets lit on fire. Everyone scatters. A guy tries to shoot Shere Khan, but his gun's jammed. Mowgli is tossed into a carriage, and a driver on a horse tries to gallop him to safety, but the carriage catches on fire, and there's barrels of gunpowder, and the horse and the rider and the stagecoach explode and launches Mowgli into the trees, because that's how gunpowder works. Back in the camp, Shere Khan has racked up a pretty impressive death count for a Disney movie, and they tell little girl Kitty that Mowgli is gone. Yeah, you're gonna have to find another little boy to slow dance for there, lady. Apparently, Bagheera means panther and Baloo means bear. I can't imagine that's true, but I'm also not smart enough to prove it's not true, nor want to Google it. Little Mowgli meets Bagheera and Baloo, but they don't talk in this movie. Actually, none of the animals talk in this movie yet. Little Mowgli with little animals is pretty darn cute. He meets a wolf family. They take him in. They raise him as one of their own. Time passes. He's all grown up now, and man, Shere Khan better look out, because that's a killer six-pack. He still has the bracelet. He still has Kitty's bracelet, but then a monkey steals it and runs away. He chases the damn monkey. He finds some abandoned temple thing, and King Louie emerges. This movie is fun to review because there's no dialogue. He goes into the mouth of the entrance and he emerges in like Monkeytown. He ends up in an underground lake that leads him to an impressive secret treasure room, and damn, these sets are incredible in this movie. This is where the extra money from the lack of microphones and like audio engineers went, right? Like the audio guys are sitting with their feet up right now. Mowgli pulls out this bedazzled dagger he found and he pockets it. He sees King Louie with his bracelet, and King Louie's wearing a crown. Suddenly the river of gold starts moving. This giant anaconda emerges and attacks Mowgli. This is intense. My daughter is super quiet. This fight scene goes underwater. Mowgli pulls out the dagger and stabs the snake. Louie gets mad and throws his crown down, and then he throws the bracelet to Mowgli. Great scene. All the other monkeys jump and howl and clap. Now there's more white people on a tour of the jungle years later, and one of them is Mowgli's 5-year-old girlfriend, also all grown up. She still knows all the jungle species, like adult Kitty is still super jungle savvy, and my spell check turned that into Juba Soon Daddy. Kitty gets separated from her group and Mowgli appears and gives her a flower and tries to kiss her, but she repels. And Baloo's like, oh, what's up, you too good for my boy? And he screams and bear scream and she runs away. And as usual, these jungle stories, the female lead that inevitably ends up with our jungle man protagonist starts as a high society aristocrat already in a relationship with an unlikable rich guy with no redeeming qualities. Here's the snotty guy and the tour is Kitty's boyfriend. He has no reservations about kissing this guy. And Mowgli charges out and pushes this guy over. He tries to beat up Mowgli and Mowgli makes a fool of this rich and then he's like, get him, to his like henchmen, and Mowgli disposes them as well. And Kitty sees this new alpha male and jumps ship. Now, from all the online Disney hate I see about people complaining about female depictions in Disney movies, it's always princesses, and it's never characters like these that are the ones that should be held up to scrutiny. She wanted nothing to do with this jungle man until he beat up her current boyfriend. What kind of a message does that send to either gender? Anyway, where were we? Jungle Book. Mowgli follows the people back to the town because he's got a trophy lady to collect. He spooks the elephants to cause a distraction and he sneaks into the palace. The guards are bumblers, as you would expect, because their training and guns are no match for this jungle man's reflexes. Mowgli scales the wall and climbs into her bedroom, pushes her up against the wall. My man. He tries to give her a flower again and goes to kiss her and she says no! But, and I hate to be this guy, her eyes definitely say yes. She won't kiss him, but she has no problem over the top flirting with this guy. She rubs his hand and smiles at him and then sees the bracelet. Where did you get this? Oh, you're Mowgli. I'm Kitty. Guards are closing in. She's like, you gotta leave. You gotta get out of here. The guards burst in just as he escapes out the window. Did he touch you? They ask. The chase through the city is on. If only the street rat had a monkey sidekick to help him. Right? Right? All right, there's a thing where they all run across hot coals and it doesn't bug Mowgli because he's 100 shades of man. The guards then get burnt because they're not wearing boots. Why aren't the guards wearing boots? I don't understand. A snake charmer raises a rope that Mowgli climbs. He's using the stereotypes to escape. I'm trying to hang on here, folks, but in the last 10 minutes they've been really rough. He finally makes it to the roof, but someone knocks out the Jungle Boy, and they find the jewel dagger he took from Monkeytown. I have no idea what the plot is or where this is going at this point. They think he stole the dagger from a rich Maharaja, so into the dungeon Mowgli goes. Awkward shot selection as the guards talk back and forth, and it's just close-ups of their faces, nothing else. Like, that's like day one in camera school. Close-up means drama, but they're talking about nothing. The snooty boyfriend claims he kicked Mowgli in the sweets. The jailer asks him his name and he doesn't know because he can't answer, he doesn't know English. The jailer says he will investigate this matter. You heard the mad sergeant. Show the man some gently. I rewound and listened to that 3 times and I don't know what he said there. Oh my god, Mowgli is in some dirty prison, getting tortured and beaten by an evil guard. And, oh, I'm the king of the jungle swing, the jungle VIP. Oh my god. Kitty's like, he's harmless, he's gentle, let him out. I'm sure that's what her husband wants to hear. She says, he's Mowgli. And her father's like, that can't be Mowgli. He left when he was 5. That would make him. And as he does the mental math, the handheld camera shakes for no reason. This movie has turned into a riddle wrapped in an enigma. Back in the jail cell, Kitty appears and is like, this is the Jungle Boy everyone's talking about. Let him out. And they're like, the one who raised himself in the jungle? So they know of a guy like this, but figured there's no way this could be that guy. All right. She peers through the bars and says, Mowgli. And he goes, Kitty, and they hold hands, and they just start having sex right through the jail cell bars. Just kidding, but it's pretty much implied. Now begins the montage of this girl trying to change everything about this man to make him fit into some sort of mold she needs to have for her proper mate. The writer is projecting hard here. They're teaching him to talk. They're making him say Prince Albert over and over and over, and while I can't see it, I imagine they're showing him a picture of a pierced penis. No, look it up. That's exactly what Prince Albert is. Okay, she teaches him to say, you are beautiful. Wow. Now he talks perfectly. She teaches him to dance in the jungle. She still won't kiss him, but she gives him the eyes and puts his hand on her hips. And this poor guy's eyes must just be like vibrating at this point. Her dad shows him a picture of one man with 2 women, and I'm not making this up. Verbatim, he says, man, woman, woman. 1 man, 2 women, lucky man. I need to take a break from this movie. George of the Jungle is grasping at the dirt and the roots, desperately trying to keep its title of worst Disney movie I've ever seen at this point. She takes him to the jungle and is totally flirting with him. Did you feel anything the first time you saw me? And he's like, oh yeah, I tried to kiss you. And he says, I felt fire. That's accurate. He's like, oh my god, please stay with me and kiss me. And she's like, nah, and walks away. And her dad wants to send Kitty home to England so she could pick a decent suitor. I guess she's not actually engaged to that guy yet. She wants to stay and pick a local boy to marry. But if she gets married, then who's going to tease poor Mowgli until his confused sexual frustration escalates into tears and rage, right? The snooty bad guy wants Mowgli to show them the way through the forest to something. I missed it. Captain Bill Williams, is that his name, comes into the room and Mowgli growls at him. He brought Kitty flowers and she kisses him on the cheek in front of Mowgli. He then drops to a knee and proposes to her. Okay, here we go. And she's like, I can't, I'm going back to England. And he's like, no, I talked to your dad, it's cool. She doesn't really seem to care either way. He's like, why don't I take Mowgli for a tour of the palace? She's like, you can be sweet when you put your mind to it. Jump cut. He shows Mowgli a special knife used to pull out someone's stomach. And we get an actual tender moment in this movie, if I can give it credit where it's due. Mowgli's confused and he's like, why use a knife like that? Like, do you eat your guy after you kill him? The guy's like, no. And then Mowgli's like, well, why kill him? He's, because you hate him. And Mowgli's like, well, what's hate? Sadness. He shows him the dagger they took off Mowgli when they knocked him out. Where did you get it? And he's like, Monkeytown. Is there more there? Mountains. So he takes Mowgli to a trophy room now, and he sees the mounted heads of a bunch of animals. This is like in Ace Ventura when nature calls him. Mowgli's like, this is a wonderful room of death. Thank you for showing this to me. But he won't take him to Monkey City. Mowgli now lectures him in perfect English. This British jerk has the fakest mustache. He says to Mowgli, you almost sound like a man, not an animal. Trained to sound like a man. Mowgli fires back. The more I understand what a man is, the more I want to be an animal. Maybe one day you'll hunt me. Oh, foreshadowing. We get the Titanic dance scene. And we overhear one guy talking about the bare necessities of life. Mowgli is kind of dressed up, and I hope Kathy Bates pulls him aside and, kid, these aristocrats are gonna tear you apart. Kitty, although engaged, asks Mowgli to dance, and they dance, and fake mustache fiance is none too happy about that. This is honestly like Titanic cut and paste. Looks great, the visuals are amazing, but this story is all over the place. Kitty is not coming across like a likable gal at all. Now there's an announcement. Surprise, they tell everyone Kitty is engaged to William, and Mowgli asks someone, what does that mean? Some guy says, they're gonna be wed. It means she belongs to him. Is that what it means? Then all William's friends shoulder Mowgli and then put him through a table like it's the WWF 1998, and everyone laughs at him. He runs away, and Kat goes after him. William tries to stop her, goes, let him go, and she pulls away and runs after Mowgli. She catches up to him. Where are you going? I'm going home. I'm not a man, and I'm not an animal. Too crazy for Boys Town? Too much a boy for Crazy Town. I looked down to write that Simpsons joke. I'm pretty proud of myself. But then when I look up, it's a tight shot of Kitty's head and shoulders, and it looks like she's topless. Like, how long was I looking down? What happened? But no, she's just wearing a strapless dress. Really weird framing, though. Mowgli turns and runs away, leaving someone else's fiancé standing there crying. Billy comes in and is like, woman, I think you owe me an apology. And she goes, I can't marry you. I won't. And he goes, you won't make William the fool and leave me for some jungle boy. And then she slaps him. Hard cut. She's heading back to England after all. She's like, screw all this noise. Mowgli sleeps in a tree, and then the fiance's men attack him and net him, and here we go. And oh no, never mind. He's not netted at all. He gets away. Baloo runs interference and gets shot. Wow! What is happening in this movie, Disney? Hey kids, if you like the songs and characters of Disney's beloved classic, The Jungle Book, come watch the live action movie. Abs, cleavage, jail, torture, sexual tension. Baloo is dead. How's the childhood now? Now there's new bad guys firing at the British dudes from the bushes. People are legit getting shot and dying. Mowgli returns with the save. He saves the British men from the evil like Indian ambushers. He Irish whips one headfirst into a tree, and I can appreciate that. Kitty's dad is like, you saved my life, Mowgli. And Mowgli's like, now I need you to save the life of another. Now the new bad gang kidnapped Kitty. It's like a triple double cross. The Indian guys that were in the bushes were working for her evil fiance and his gaggle of men. So Kitty's dad is now a good guy on the opposite side of the evil fiance. He tries to pull the, you're all British soldiers under my command to all the traitors, and pow, they knock him down. Kitty yells, why did you bring me here? Mowgli yells, I can answer that. And suddenly he appears in a tree above everyone. And there's like no reaction, no dramatic music stab, no shock reveal, no snap pan. It's the weirdest surprise entrance of a character I've ever seen in a movie. It's so bizarre. Of course, they want Monkeytown and Monkey Treasure, so Mowgli agrees to take them there to save Kitty and tells them, we will see who's still alive after we get there. Kitty tells them if they don't get her dad to a hospital soon, he will die, and her ex-fiance is eating cereal, and he's like, eh. The bad army men are losing their minds because the jungle is so noisy. Then Mowgli howls and it falls silent. Cool moment. Checkmate. They hear Shere Khan, and the fiance says, I'd like to bag me a tiger. And one of his guides says, this tiger is the devil, and I shiver. That landed. Mowgli is tied to a tree at night, but Bagheera comes and chews through the ropes. The fat army bumbler chases him and lands in quicksand. They try to save him, but he sinks. So, abs, cleavage, jail, torture, sexual tension, death by quicksand. Dead Baloo. The rest move on and leave Kitty's father to die. Quote, the bad fiance. Such is life. Mowgli arrives and saves injured dad. He loads him onto an elephant and sends him back to the village. One of the bad fiance's henchmen is like a ginger with a handlebar mustache, and I can't wait for this guy to die. Now comes the part where Mowgli has to chew through the henchmen one by one. Mowgli kicks the first guy off a cliff, so abs, cleavage, jail, torture, sexual tension, dead Baloo, death in quicksand, thrown off a cliff. They make it to Monkeytown. They're just down to like evil fiance dragging Kitty by the arm and ginger white henchman and the one like Indian henchman left. They hear Shere Khan roar and the two henchmen run away. Ginger accidentally shoots the other guy in the leg. Shere Khan eats the ginger. So, abs, cleavage, jail, torture, sexual tension, dead Baloo, drowning in quicksand, tossed off a cliff, shot, eaten by a tiger. This movie continues. William is dragging Kitty into Monkeytown, and she says, "You're hurting me," and he replies, "Behave yourself and I won't." Okay, showdown in Monkeytown. Not sure what this guy's plan is. He needs one hand to hold Kitty and the other hand to hold his gun, and now he's surrounded by billions of dollars worth of gold he can't carry. We go Indiana Jones as the trophy cavern lights with torches. Again, amazing sets, poor script, terrible acting. There's another henchman in there now shooting at Mowgli. Oh, he's limping. I think it's the guy that the ginger shot in the leg. I'm giving this movie the like wrap it up sign already. He's fighting Mowgli in a pit and it starts filling with sand. Mowgli can get out, but this guy can't because Lieutenant Dan only got one leg. Abs, cleavage, jail, torture, sexual tension, death by quicksand, shot, eaten by tiger. Baloo's dead, buried alive. Kitty pulls her arm free and elbows her ex-fiance in the ribs. He goes, oof, then he grabs her face and he mouth kisses her and then keeps on walking with a swagger. And I am ashamed to say, that was almost strangely awesome. I mean, forcing himself on her obviously wasn't cool, but the way they shot that scene and framed it, it was super dramatic and it kind of made him look like a badass. I can't explain it and I'm not going to defend it, but it was just my honest gut reaction. It felt like that Army of Darkness scene, the give me some sugar baby moment. He finally goes to shoot Mowgli, but Kitty pushes his arms up and they both fall over the ledge and land down below in a Scrooge McDuck pool of gold coins. It's the giant treasure room. Again, this music and the way this is shot kind of makes this guy look like the hero. Kitty could be dead. He doesn't even check on her. He just like walks over her body and he's going nuts for all the treasure. Now he attacks Mowgli with a sword and King Louie comes to watch. This is good stuff. A battle in a gold-covered trophy room while hundreds of monkeys jump up and down and cheer is pretty damn epic. They really pulled the nose up of this plane for this final scene. The set is phenomenal. Might I say, one of the greatest showdown sets I've ever seen in any movie. Torchlit gold treasure cave, and it's not a pirate movie. Give it to me. Mowgli plays mind games. And he's like, what do you think you have that I don't, Mowgli? Strength of a bear, speed of a panther, heart of a wolf, and very sharp teeth. And just when it can't get worse for the fiancé, he grabs a bag of gold as the snake coils at his feet. Mowgli and Cat escape. He curses her and all the monkey audience suddenly stops making noise. And he's like, what? And this is so spooky and effective. And the CGI snake jumps and attacks. This was a great scene. Unreal. The snake pulls the fiancé underwater, drags him through like a pile of underwater skeletons before killing him. Abs, cleavage, jail, torture, sexual tension, death by quicksand, Baloo shot, eaten by a tiger, buried alive, eaten by a snake. Outside the temple, Shere Khan stares down Mowgli, who roars, and Shere Khan backs off. Shere Khan sees me, not as a man, but as a creature of the jungle. Honestly, the last 20 minutes of this movie have been incredible. Mowgli brings Kitty back to the village where her dad is healing with the other non-traitorous army men. Baloo is alive! Oh, her dad bandages up Baloo. Baloo's not dead. We are wrapping this thing up. She leads Mowgli away to a waterfall and she finally lets him make out with her. And the narrator says, that's how he became the king of her jungle. No, the king of the jungle. Probably both.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism